18-year-old Tyler Turner had always dreamed of going skydiving. For many people, it is the kind of experience that remains on a bucket list forever. The idea of stepping out of a plane thousands of feet above the ground is enough to make most people reconsider, even when they are reminded that fatal accidents are statistically rare. But no matter how small the risk may appear, someone still has to become that one exception.
Welcome to Parachute Center.
Oh,
What
yeah.
is your name?
My name is Tyler Turner.
What are you doing here?
I am gonna jump out of a plane.
It's your first time.
First time indeed.
Maybe you a little bit scary?
A little bit scary. When I get up there, it's gonna be like, oh gosh, adrenaline's gonna kick in. Just gonna let it happen.
In 2016, Tyler finally received the opportunity to complete his first skydive. He was clearly excited, although the reality of what he was about to do also made him understandably nervous. Still, he refused to let that fear stop him.
Who is it?
That's my mom over there.
Hello.
Very loving mom. Done a lot for me in my life. Hope that she'll help me with more of my life, because I want to make it.
Okay.
We're gonna make it.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Watching from the ground below, Tyler's mother smiled as the plane carried her son into the air. She was proud to see him accomplishing something he had wanted to do for so long. Neither of them knew that it would be the final accomplishment of his life.
It is haunting video of an 18-year-old making his first parachute jump while his mother watched. His chute never opened. Now a judge has found the owner of the skydiving school negligent to the tune of $40 million.
During the tandem jump, neither Tyler nor his instructor's parachute opened correctly. Both men fell to their deaths while Tyler's mother waited below. In the aftermath, disturbing questions began to emerge about the skydiving company responsible for the jump. Investigators discovered that the instructor attached to Tyler had not been properly certified. What investigators uncovered after Tyler's death made the tragedy even more disturbing. The instructor attached to him was not properly certified to perform tandem jumps. His qualification had been issued through an examiner who was no longer authorized to train instructors, meaning Tyler had unknowingly placed his life in the hands of someone who should never have been responsible for bringing him safely back to the ground. The accident also exposed the skydiving center's deeply troubling history. At least 20 deaths had already been linked to the facility, raising serious questions about its safety standards and how it had been allowed to continue operating for so long. Tyler's family later received a $40 million wrongful death judgment, and the case eventually led to the introduction of Tyler's Law, requiring skydiving operators in California to verify that tandem instructors and parachute riggers meet the necessary federal certification requirements. But none of that could bring Tyler back. Watching the footage now is incredibly difficult. We see a happy 18-year-old pushing through his nerves, trusting that the professionals around him had taken every possible precaution. He believed he was about to experience one of the greatest moments of his life. Instead, his death exposed a chain of failures that should have been discovered long before he ever stepped onto that plane. Tyler lost his life after trusting the professionals responsible for his safety. But in the next case, the victim had spent years trying to warn others about the danger surrounding him, only to become its next target. Petis Robinson was a 55-year-old lifelong resident of Wingate, North Carolina, who had become increasingly concerned about the theft and violence affecting his community. Rather than ignoring what was happening around him, Petis regularly used Facebook Live to document the problems he witnessed and draw attention to the neighborhood he wanted to improve. He believed that publicly exposing crime could help protect the families, elderly residents, and children who still called the area home. Then one day, the issue became personal. After Petis discovered that his phone had reportedly been stolen by a member of his own family, he began live streaming his journey to the Wingate Police Department to report it. Despite his frustration, the interaction remained surprisingly lighthearted. Petis spoke calmly with the officers, and Police Chief Donnie Gay even joked during the broadcast that whoever had taken the phone should return it so Petis could continue with his day. There was nothing about the conversation to suggest that Pettis was only minutes away from becoming the victim of the same violence he had spent so much time trying to expose. After leaving the police station, he continued walking while holding the selfie stick he frequently used during his streams.
Go to Atlanta. Charlotte ain't far enough. Try to get your damn ass kicked. You don't lie. You don't lie. You don't lie. You don't lie.
As Pettis spoke to the camera, a man dressed in dark clothing appeared behind him and began moving in his direction. At first, it was unclear whether the man was simply walking along the same route or deliberately following him, but the distance between them quickly began to close. Pettis did not appear to understand how much danger he was in. Moments later, 4 gunshots were heard. The selfie stick fell toward the ground as Pettis collapsed beside it, leaving the livestream recording the aftermath of an attack that had taken place only a short distance from the police station. Pettis died from his injuries.
Police in North Carolina are looking for a suspect they say shot and killed a man who was on Facebook Live.
Investigators say this happened in Wingate, southeast of Charlotte, yesterday morning.
The following day, a 65-year-old man identified in reports as Douglas Coulson turned himself into authorities. The exact motive behind the shooting was never made completely clear, leaving people to question whether Pettis had been deliberately targeted or had become the victim of a sudden act of violence. Some of his friends believed his public criticism of crime may have angered people in the area, although no definitive connection was established. The live stream was initially removed from Facebook, but was later reportedly restored following requests from people close to Pettis, who believed he would have wanted the footage to continue exposing the violence he had tried to stop. Pettis began the broadcast, intending to report a stolen phone. Instead, it captured his final moments, and became the most tragic evidence of the very problem he had spent years warning people about. Pettis used social media to expose the violence affecting his community. But as the next case shows, even someone using the internet to share music and connect with fans can unknowingly attract a threat of their own. You might recognize Christina Grimmie from The Voice, where all 4 coaches turned their chairs during her audition, and she eventually finished in 3rd place. However, her career began years earlier on her YouTube channel, Zeldax Love 64. At just 15 years old, Christina began sitting in front of a webcam and uploading covers of her favorite songs. Her videos were simple, especially by today's standards, but her talent was impossible to ignore. Millions of people began following her journey as she progressed from singing inside her bedroom to releasing original music, touring and performing in front of enormous crowds. But while fame can appear glamorous from the outside, it can also attract people whose admiration slowly develops into something far more dangerous. On June 10, 2016, Christina performed at the Plaza Live in Orlando alongside the band Before You Exit. She had promoted the concert on social media and invited her fans to attend the meet and greet afterward. In footage recorded by someone in the crowd, Christina can be seen talking and laughing with a young girl, completely unaware that another person waiting nearby had traveled there specifically to kill her.
It's not weird. Have you ever been to like one of my shows? No. I've never been to.
Only minutes later, 27-year-old Kevin James Loibel approached Christina. He had traveled from another part of Florida carrying 2 handguns, additional ammunition, and a knife. Investigators would later learn that he had developed an intense obsession with Christina through her online content, reportedly telling people that she was his soulmate despite never having met her. When Loibel reached the front of the line, Christina reportedly opened her arms to greet him with a hug. Instead, he pulled out a handgun and shot her 3 times at close range. Christina's brother Marcus immediately tackled the gunman, preventing him from attacking anyone else. During the struggle, Loibel managed to break free before taking his own life. Christina was rushed to the hospital but died from her injuries only hours later. She was just 22 years old. What makes the final footage so disturbing is that it captures the exact openness and kindness that made Christina so loved. She believed she was meeting another person who had come to support her music. She had no way of knowing that hidden among her fans was someone who had mistaken an online connection for something real. And that takes us to the next woman, who also trusted her viewers, until their donations transformed an online game into something she could no longer control. During a live stream in China, a woman hosted a dangerous donation game involving what she called a wheel of mayhem. The wheel featured several different foods and drinks, including large amounts of alcohol. Every time someone donated money, she would spin it. Whatever the wheel landed on determined what she had to consume, while the size of the donation determined how much she had to take. At first, the stream appeared to be nothing more than an unusual online challenge. However, the situation soon took a disturbing turn when the wheel landed on the alcohol option. A viewer reportedly sent an extremely large donation of approximately $13,000. Because of the size of the donation, the woman poured 2 bottles of alcohol into a bowl. She then added eggs and mustard before attempting to drink the entire mixture. The footage from this part of the live stream can't be shown. Consuming such a large amount of alcohol in a short period of time is extremely dangerous and should never be attempted. As she continued drinking, many of the viewers initially watched with excitement. However, it soon became clear that something was seriously wrong. Her complexion became increasingly pale. She appeared visibly sick, struggled to remain standing, and eventually became unable to properly control her body. Emergency services were called, and she was transported to a hospital. Sadly, she later passed away. Further investigations reportedly revealed that she had taken an antibiotic before the live stream. Certain medications can cause severe or even fatal reactions when combined with alcohol. What began as an attempt to entertain viewers had ended in tragedy, demonstrating how quickly dangerous live stream challenges can spiral completely out of control. Sometimes, the final moments captured online become increasingly disturbing as the danger unfolds. In the next case, however, the footage remained completely normal, which is exactly what makes it so unsettling. Kixistar was a professional Rainbow Six Siege player and ESL commentator who had built an enormous following within the gaming community. He frequently streamed on Twitch, where nearly 500,000 people followed him. He had managed to turn his favorite game into a successful career, earning an impressive income while doing something he genuinely loved. Despite his popularity, Kixistar was known for being humble and rarely found himself involved in controversy, something that can be surprisingly difficult for people with such a large online presence. On October 11th, Kixistar went live on Twitch and played Rainbow Six Siege, just as he had done countless times before. Nothing about the stream seemed unusual. He played the game, laughed with his viewers, and, once he was finished, spent some time casually talking to the chat. As the broadcast came to an end, he mentioned that he was about to go for a drive.
Hours. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go for a drive with Stallion, I guess. We'll meet up with Stallion, and so I can use the rest of my day. Let's see, what day is today? Is today Monday? Yeah, Tuesday. So tomorrow I'll probably stream. So I guess I'll see you guys then. Probably stream for longer tomorrow, since I'm going for a drive today. Ugh. Thank you for watching, everybody. It was a pretty stream today, but I mean, I had fun anyway. So thank you for making it fun, and yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Tragically, that drive would be his last. Shortly after the stream ended, police and emergency services responded to a single vehicle accident involving an overturned BMW. Kixistar was found unresponsive inside the front seat and was pronounced dead at the scene. What makes his final stream so unsettling is how normal everything appeared. He was laughing, talking about his plans and saying goodbye to his viewers, completely unaware that he had just broadcast the final moments of his life. And that takes us to Taiwan, where a group of construction workers had been tasked with cutting an opening into a large underground water pipe. However, unknown to the men working around it, the pipe had not been properly shut down or secured. Before maintenance can begin on a pipe of this size, several precautions must be taken. One of the most important is ensuring that the pressure inside has been safely equalized. In this case, that had not happened. The footage shows one of the workers standing above a partially cut hole in the pipe. Using a hammer, he repeatedly strikes the remaining section of material, attempting to break it away and create an opening. He had no idea what would happen the moment the final piece gave way. Because the pressure inside the pipe was considerably lower than the air pressure outside, opening it created an extremely powerful vacuum effect. The pipe immediately began pulling air through the newly created hole. Anything standing close enough to that opening risked being pulled in with it. As the worker delivered the final strike, his body leaned slightly toward the hole. That small movement placed him close enough for the force of the pressure to pull him headfirst into the pipe. His co-workers immediately rushed toward the opposite end, where they eventually found him suffering from severe injuries and multiple broken bones. By the time paramedics arrived, he had already lost his vital signs. Although he was transported to a hospital, he was pronounced dead shortly afterward. What makes the accident so disturbing is how quickly it happened. 1 second, he was performing what appeared to be a routine construction task. The next, a hidden pressure difference transformed the pipe into a deadly vacuum, giving him almost no opportunity to react or escape. Some final recordings capture an accident so sudden that nobody has time to react. Others, however, unfold slowly enough for viewers to recognize the danger, yet leave them almost powerless to prevent it. On May 10, 2016, a 19-year-old French woman known online as Océane began broadcasting on Periscope, a live streaming platform that allowed viewers to watch events through another person's camera in real time. Océane had built a small audience of regular viewers, but from the moment this particular stream began, it was clear that something was different. She appeared visibly distressed and soon began discussing an assault she said she had experienced, along with the serious effect it had taken on her mental health. Some viewers responded with compassion and attempted to comfort her, but others mocked her, posted sexual comments, and sent cruel messages while she was clearly in crisis. Océane appeared almost numb to the reaction. She explained that she had not started the stream to receive sympathy and claimed that she wanted to send a message. Then she made a request that immediately alarmed the people watching. She asked any underage viewers to leave because they should not witness what she believed was about to happen. Those who had been watching from the beginning began to understand that she could be in immediate danger. Several viewers reportedly contacted the police and shared whatever information they had, desperately hoping that officers could locate her before it was too late. Meanwhile, Océane left her home with the live stream still running, giving her audience no clear indication of where she was going. Eventually, the camera revealed that she had reached a railway line. As the sound of an approaching train became audible, viewers could do nothing but watch and wait for emergency services to find her. Océane died shortly afterwards, while her undamaged phone remained beside the tracks with the live stream still active. The broadcast continued until a first responder arrived, picked up the device, and ended it. Publicly available information about Océane remains limited, but reports describing her final stream suggest that her struggles had been developing for a long time. She spoke about the effect of past abuse and about trying to find purpose by caring for elderly people, yet feeling as though nothing could make her happy anymore. During the stream, she also recalled once telling others that a deceased person should never be treated as a spectacle for entertainment. Tragically, Her own final minutes were then watched live by strangers, some of whom tried desperately to save her, while others continued attacking her during the darkest moment of her life. Ocean's story should not be remembered for the moment of her death, but for what the broadcast revealed about someone openly asking to be heard while surrounded by an audience that did not fully understand how little time remained. What began as a live stream intended to send a message became the final record of a young woman in crisis, and a reminder that behind every screen is a real person whose pain should never be treated as entertainment. And that brings us to the final case, one that also follows someone approaching the end of his life. But this time, he chose to document that journey so others would feel less alone.
Having seen all those other people pass away from this, I do believe that this will kill me, all right? And I've been, stage 4, very few people get that sorted.
On July 8, 2020, a man named Daryl Leaf uploaded the first video in a series titled My Cancer Journey. Daryl had been diagnosed with stage 4 colorectal cancer after doctors discovered a tumor in his bowel. The cancer had already spread through multiple lymph nodes and reached his liver, leaving him with an extremely uncertain future. He underwent emergency surgery, received an ileostomy, and completed 12 rounds of chemotherapy. Knowing that his chances of surviving the disease were limited, Daryl decided to document everything he was experiencing. He wanted to leave something behind for his family, but he also hoped his videos might help other cancer patients feel less alone as they faced similar treatments.
Hey guys, how you doing? Hey, just thought I'd give you a wee update on things that have happened over the last few weeks.
His early uploads mainly consisted of honest updates about surgeries, scans, and chemotherapy. Yet even while discussing an illness that would eventually take his life, Daryl rarely lost his sense of humor. At the beginning of his 6th episode, he parodied the opening of Star Wars to introduce another major bowel operation, ending it with the words, "Help me, bowel cancer surgery. You are my only hope." It was humorous, but underneath the joke was the reality that his treatment options were becoming increasingly limited. Daryl still appeared surprisingly active throughout much of the series. In one video, he even filmed himself while riding a bicycle. However, cancer can progress incredibly quickly, and his physical condition eventually began to deteriorate. In late 2022, Daryl's final video appeared under the title My Cancer Journey 9, Journey's End.
Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, I'm just doing this short video. It's number 9, Journey's End. So you can guess what's coming from that. So I just wanted to do this short video just to let you know that maybe today, yesterday, day before, I actually passed away.
This time, he was speaking from his bed. His lungs had been badly affected, and he struggled to form complete sentences as he explained that he likely had only days left to live. Yet even then, Daryl refused to abandon the dark humor that had carried him through his illness.
My breathing getting worse, and bits of me vital organs starting to fail.
At one point, he showed viewers the urn that would eventually contain his ashes, joking that it was currently too light for him to be inside it.
It's actually quite light, so maybe I'm not in there just yet. Okay.
He had already made plans for what would happen after his death. His wife would keep most of his ashes, while he hoped members of his canoe club would scatter a small amount over the ocean. Another portion would be placed alongside his parents in Invercargill Cemetery. Daryl also explained that he did not want a traditional funeral. Instead, the comment section beneath his final video would give viewers the opportunity to say goodbye. In his final message, Daryl said that knowing his death was approaching had taught him not to take life too seriously. In the end, He believed that very little mattered beyond the time spent with the people we love.
I'm not going to go into a lot here in regard to thanking lots of people, but I just want you all to know, thanks for sticking with me through my journey. Thanks, for all those who have been part of my life. Good or bad, you take the good, take the bad, take the ugly. It's life, So, thank you.
Daryl had spent years documenting the most frightening period of his life, not for attention, but to help strangers experiencing the same disease. Even while preparing for his own death, he was still thinking about what he could leave behind for everyone else. That's all for today, folks. If you like to see more of this creepy content, click on the video on screen.